Hello everybody. Thought we'd do something a little bit different this morning. Been keeping in contact with Rob from Hamilton Outdoors, and I mentioned I thought about doing a video about this DIY rain catchment system that I put together actually a couple years ago. Usually have a little bit of a garden. It's a little bit spare this year. I have a pepper plant that I tried to winter over, which did okay. I mean, it lived. It hasn't really gone too crazy yet. I do have 2 or 3 little peppers in there, going all right. And I had some lettuce and salad greens and things in here that got a little overgrown, so I ended up tearing those out. But I'll probably put some more back in, and usually have at least a tomato plant or 2 kicking around. Got some nice flowers the wife bought to keep the deck pretty. But back to the water catchment system. I know there's lots of videos out there people have done about them. Mine's nothing special. Maybe it's a little bit different than what some other folks have. Just thought I'd give you a quick little look. These barrels are not full size, 55-gallon drums. I think they're like a 35-gallon. Sourced these from a local car wash that didn't seem to be using them anymore. I don't think they mind that I took them off their hands. But they've got the nice screw-out bungs that you can drill in and get a plumbing fitting in there, PVC plumbing fitting. And I built a simple 2x4 rack. I stacked 2 of them up, put them on their sides, and the piping is just simple PVC piping. Runs across the top of the deck wall. And as far as taking off from the downspout, there's a neat little kit you can buy online. Actually, there's a couple different kinds that you can get. All you do is just punch that, I think it's a 2-inch hole in the downspout. The fitting goes in and blocks only about half of the flow and allows the rest to come through. In the wintertime, you can pop that out of there, and they send you a nice little plug that fits in the hole, and there's 2 screws that secure it that probably aren't absolutely necessary, but kind of nice to have them to make sure. But you can pull that out in the wintertime, and then there's nothing blocking the flow, nothing to get iced up. But in the summertime, I pop that one back in, attach the hosing, and really there's only one roof on the house supplying that, and there's more than enough that in a good heavy rainstorm, these 2 barrels fill up pretty quickly. In fact, I'll make a little insert. I'll put a clip in here. Oh, sorry for the airplanes. It's one of my favorite features of my rain harvesting system. When it is nice and full and we get a good steady rain, I get a cool little fountain. This was actually born out of necessity, that when it gets too full, or as I'm trying to draw water, causes a suction. So I drilled a 1/4-inch hole in the top of that barrel to vent air so that it would both dispense easily and fill up to the fullest. One day we were having a good rain, I mean a real good one, and that was squirting probably about 3.5, maybe close to 4 feet out of the top of that barrel. It's just raining pretty good right now. Not quite heavy enough to get her doing a good fountain yet. Right next to the airport. I'll put a clip in here. One of my favorite features when we get a good heavy storm, that I get a little fountain out of a vent hole that I put right here in the top of the barrel. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Had to put that in because of venting when you crack the valve open here on the bottom. And this is just a simple 1/4 turn valve. Plenty of water that I can keep the plants watered. I can do things. It's also kind of a nice, well, I'm not really a prepper, but I do like to consider myself pretty self-reliant. I mean, if there was ever an issue that you needed water for flushing toilets, or just whatever, I would not drink this water. Maybe if it was boiled and filtered pretty well, it could be safe enough. But you know, some of the stuff that comes off the roof, and since these barrels, I should paint them. Should paint them like a dark brown or a black to keep the light from getting through. They do grow some growth inside. I've had to clean them out every spring pretty good. But you know, in the wintertime, all I do is unhook that piping. It gets stacked in the corner in a bucket in the back so that it doesn't freeze up. The barrels get drained out, but they just live right there with the bungs open all winter, and they're just fine. So I'm going to post this. Maybe somebody's interested, maybe you're not. If not, no big deal. Maybe you can take some ideas from it and make a nice water catchment system for yourself. Thanks all. I'm going to tag this on to the end here because I don't know where else I would put it. But the lawnmower ASMR video I did a little while back was pretty jumpy, and the grass wasn't very thick that day. And it just did not do justice to how effective these old reel type mowers are. So with that rain that we got yesterday, we've got a pretty good crop. And I thought I'd run her down the yard here and just give you a shot of what this thing really does clear. Here we go. Whew. Plus 2, good workout. Another thing that I didn't think to use as a example of things you could do with water from your rain catchment system. You can use it for doing some cleaning, and that's something I found as a real good thing with these old reel types. Keep them clean, keep them sharp, and they'll last you a good long time. Something else I thought of that could be a potential use for a water catchment system like this, being that it doesn't require any power at all, just gravity. You know, even if you just had something like a small shed out at a remote range, say in the mountains of the south, and you like to go there and shoot and set off lots of boom targets tools, and you know, we know sometimes those start fires when idiots use them to indicate the gender of their spawn. That's a whole other topic. But yeah, this would be another possibility. If you had one somewhere that you didn't have a well or water available, that's 70 some gallons of water that could be employed for fire suppression. And I just have a little hose and a quarter turn there. You can put a hose on here, and there's enough head pressure, and depending on how high you mounted those, you could get a decent spray. So just another thought. All right, thank you much.